Call Mike Sabin.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can I just make it quite clear to the members on the other side that this party and actually most New Zealanders actually value working mothers. Because you're working doesn't mean that you're letting your children down. We back them. And fundamentally that's what your argument, sorry Mr Speaker, that's what these members' argument has been about. Because they're not prepared to back the people that this party will. Mr Speaker, before I go on, I just want to commend the Minister for this bill, for the hard work and the compassion, the enthusiasm that she has shown with it. And I also want to extend thanks to Mr Lotuinga, the chairperson of the Select Committee, for his chairmanship, and also thank fellow members from across the political spectrum on the committee. I have enjoyed the experience of working on this bill. I think it's fair to say that we don't always agree on things, and that is healthy. But I think it's also fair to say that we all do very much care about this particular issue for New Zealanders. The core focus, yeah, I've often been called that, the core focus of this bill, Mr Speaker, is really around young people and the manner in which we can support them, because the reality is that for thousands of young people, young teenagers, are currently in that pipeline that they're staring down the barrel of a collision with an adult benefit, and certainly experience tells us that they'll be there for a very, very long time. Mr Speaker, like all of us, these young people have dreams, hopes and aspirations. And often, through no fault of their own, they find themselves in very challenging situations where they will struggle to achieve those things. It doesn't mean they don't have them. Mr Speaker, the challenge for community, and indeed the challenge for us as legislators, is to actually find ways to address that issue. The burgeoning problem with welfare is something that has concerned not only New Zealanders but everyone in this House and this political spectrum for many years. $22 million a day is one, not financially sustainable, but more importantly, the human cost, the human collateral, is substantial. Mr Speaker, at the core of this bill, we're looking at three major planks. The stronger work focus with regard to ensuring that the focus is about enabling these young people to find their way into work. We've heard much from the other side about the fact that there is no work, which I find amusing when the opposition will rail against every single policy and every single bill that this government has put forward to grow the economy. So if they were genuine about supporting work growth and job creation, then they might find themselves supporting what we're trying to do to grow this economy in very challenging times. Mr Speaker, this bill also provides a mechanism to build capacity for work in these young people. It's a major cultural shift in the way that we have addressed welfare in the past. And a very good example of that is the incentive payments that form part of this bill. Sanctions have long been a part of the Social Security Act, Mr Speaker, but incentives, providing encouragement and promoting behaviour by way of financial incentives is something new, and I think something we haven't spent enough time focusing on. Beyond that, Mr Speaker, the payment card and the assisted management of essential bills, I think, will provide a number of these young people with an opportunity to step back from the stress that their lives are under and focus on what we want them to do, to be able to get control in their lives again, to be able to develop the skill sets that will match them with employers who I know want them. Certainly in my electorate, they're saying to me, we will employ these young people. We just want them to come here and show us they're prepared to work and prepared to learn. And I believe, Mr Speaker, that this suite of changes will make a huge difference in the lives of these very challenged young people who are at a very difficult stage in their life, notwithstanding their circumstances. The other important thing, Mr Speaker, is the monitoring and guidance that the youth support providers will give these young people. I think this is very important. For many, it will fill a gap that's lacking in their own family. And changes for teen parents, again, another very, very important focus of this bill. The work focus must be there with them, the same as it is with other people on welfare, because they also will have dreams, wants, hopes and aspirations. When the work is suitable and when they reach an age where their youngest children are 5 or 14, or their second and subsequent child is 1, then we expect them to be available for work. And we will support them with childcare to ensure that. That being in work does not impede a mother's relationship with their child. If anything, it will enhance it. It provides a platform for far greater choices for that mother and a sense of pride and something in her day that she otherwise wouldn't get while she's sitting at home waiting for crumbs from the state. Mr. Speaker, this bill is the first step in fundamentally changing a culture that I believe has been very disabling for people on welfare for some time. This is about enabling. This is about supporting. It's not about just giving them money and leaving it up to them. And you can give a little dollar here and an extra one here or there, but ultimately that hasn't worked, and this bill is about doing what will. Providing management, incentives, support. Preparing them for the world of opportunity and the world of work that actually they should be in, they should want to be in, and we certainly want them to be in. This bill goes where the opposition parties certainly wouldn't, and certainly not over in the Greens, that's for sure. Investing and backing young people. Believing in them to have a dream and actually backing them to get on and achieve it. And ensuring that we've got the right balance between obligations and responsibilities. And we shouldn't forget that. It is about achieving the right balance. And what is the reward for the young people, Mr. Speaker? Well, the reward, in my view, goes a little more than just being prepared to and being in work. It's actually about having a purpose. I think it's about having opportunities. I think it's about having self-esteem and a sense of self-respect in oneself. And we all get that when we feel as if we've done something to contribute to the world each day. Mr. Speaker, this bill is the first step in long overdue changes that New Zealanders want and need. The opposition will oppose it, but we've come to expect that from them. Deep down, I suspect that they quite agree with a number of these changes, Mr. Speaker. It's just that this government got on with doing what has needed to happen. We're walkers, not talkers. I want to commend the Minister once again, Mr. Speaker, for the work that she has done, and I wholeheartedly commend this bill to the House.
I understand the next call is a split call. Dr. Megan Woods.
Thank you, Mr.